on feeding the pups, we're gonna see a fat 100% run rolling in.
Yeah, that run has all the bitch-ass E-tanks and all the, upgrades, so it's complete opposite where we just did low percent and you skip everything.
Yeah, pretty much it's the inverse of that category.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that there's a choice of low percent.
Look at the smallest picture.
That you can choose low percent ice or low percent speed.
Alright, I think I'm all set. Someone wants to throw me the Rollin deep countdown.
Oh, we got the countdown.
I'm good whenever as well. Okay. I guess the Don himself can do it.
Good luck, Caznode, with this fresh run in 3, 2, 1, Smurf!
Woo!
So, I don't know too much about this game. I let Caznode handle all that informational stuff about this game. All I know is that we are rolling deep for the Marathon 2 on Monday. Today is going to be a very heavy day for this marathon. There's going to be a lot of fresh runs. I'm on deck here, getting ready for my Pokemon Red run with this bull sparking up here right now.
And it's also pretty more than likely it's going to get pretty rowdy tonight, so just a forewarning to all the viewers.
Rowdy in the paint.
Yeah, this is a pretty lax marathon, so you're probably not going to hear too much serious commentary or anything serious in general, just with how we've organized it.
I don't know, your run was pretty serious there, Green.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it ratcheted up near the end there.
Ratcheted up with this smack of the counter, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And one false move is death in that category RPG. Death is serious.
A moment of silence as RPG contemplates his mortality.
Contemplates how he's going to get a job with that first degree charge of the ring.
And so we're leaving. Yeah, I missed the D-boost in the last room, but...
No, I was going to say you crushed my series time.
Oh, nice.
I got like a high 41 in that run earlier.
So in terms of just the ammo, so normally in any percent you do 15 missiles, 10 supers. Is it just 5 power bombs, if I remember right? Or,
yeah, it's
anyway,
10, 10, 5.
And 100% is quite a lot more than that. Do you have the specifics on each count, Mr. Fiend? It's like 255 missiles and...
It's 230 missiles, 50 supers, 50 power bombs, and all the other assortments that you get. Because it's 100%, you get everything. 14 E-tanks, 4 reserve tanks, although you don't really see them
fish meat
used unless something horribly goes wrong.
Yeah, you're going to see this run open up pretty similar to most runs, but around Red Brinstar or so, you're going to see a lot of deviation.
Do you do Ice Clip or no?
I do not.
Okay.
Every looks pretty tedious because doesn't it make the route slower if you just miss it once? And have to go back and like reposition and readjust?
It depends on how you miss it, but like missing Ice Clip can be reduced to like a 10-second time loss. I would say for me, it's like usually 11 or 12, but the route itself is supposed to save around 20 seconds once it's like pushed to its natural limit, I guess you could say. So like missing Ice Clip once is not like you're not losing time compared to the other route.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too detrimental.
But missing it 2 or more times, then yeah, you're definitely losing time comparatively.
Yeah. Arguably, Ice Clip isn't even the hardest part of the route change. There's some stuff in Wreck Ship that can be pretty tough because of the reduced amount of health you've got.
Yeah, so in this route you fight Crocomire before wreck ship, which gives you most notably an extra E-Tank, an extra power bomb pack, and grapple beam to use in the wreck ship. So the ice flip route is down an energy tank and a power bomb pack, which can matter depending on how things go and how you execute.
Oops. This climb is no bueno. We're getting all that health back, though. And we're salvaging the sub-5 morph ball bombs, which is always a good landmark to hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want full health going into here, because if you do, then all the drops that the bombs Razor will give will be missile drops. Otherwise, if you're down health a little bit, you can drop health as well, which is bad.
Yeah, the only thing is you can still drop nothing out of the eggs too, like if you are unlucky.
Like I was.
So like the way this fight works is you want to open up with 5 beam shots. He has 800 HP, and the main quirk about him is if he goes below 100 HP, he'll become decapitated, which wastes time.
Wow.
So you want to fire beam shots in intervals in amounts of 5, because your beam does 20, and 20 times 5 is 100, obviously, and missiles do 100. So basically how that fight goes is you fire 5 beam shots, you fire 4 more missiles, and then he pops his chest open, and then you fire 3 missiles, and this skips him becoming decapitated because he goes from 100 straight to 0 at the end of the fight.
I also, I mean, this isn't part of the 100% run, though it really should be. But I just obtained a bacon sandwich, actually 2 bacon sandwiches, so
Whoa.
I hope everybody's jealous.
I am
Because-
so hungry.
It tastes extremely good.
Anything bacon is worth being jealous about. So yeah, it seems like Caznode is also opting to kill those pirates and missiles because it's barely any slower and it maintains a high health count because you can get your missiles back immediately in this room.
And now as we grab this first super missile, this is where the routes first start to deviate.
Sup, Jeremy?
And we're heading into the right side of the super missile corridor to grab our first extra items. Couple of extra missile packs here, and then we'll grab the reserve tank heading back. Oh, didn't get the jump heading back through, unfortunately. That mock ball is nice to get, saves a bit of time, but it's a bit of a tight one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the hardest in the game, but it's like it's the hardest useful in a run mock ball in the game as far as I know.
Door bomb. I like to pick up these charge missiles early because I'm a weirdo, but you'll see most 100% players skip these missiles until later.
Definitely digging the 4 supers and 20 missiles going on right now.
Is it a nice change from my runs, Joe?
Well, fortunately, you don't have that luxury of having 20 missiles.
Yeah.
There are still a couple of points of this run where you want to worry about your ammunition, but for the most part, you can be pretty free with all of your ammo. Now we're taking a little bit of a detour for the best item in the game, the Spacer Beam.
Oh, hell yeah.
I hit the door. Time once again for our Big Buddy Kraid. Who goes down in about 5 seconds. My kill isn't as swag as Overfiend's quick Kraid kill, but it gets the job done.
Mm. Yeah. So, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this properly, like, or in a way that matters. But like, since my category, like 40% grabs gravity before Varia, you don't really see the impact Varia has over Power Suit because it comes second in low percent. But basically, Caznode is only taking half damage from the environment now, and he's protected from heat, so he can freely travel through Norfair.
And as we head down into Norfair, things are going to look pretty normal until our return trip from Speed. Looks like we'll get that E-Tank on our way back.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Kraid First, any percent, it's going to look quite a bit similar. You're just going to see like a few extra missile packs, I think, compared to that route.
Yep. And coming through here, Spazer allows for some fun beam strats instead of using missiles to take those guys out. We're grabbing the lava missiles here. Unfortunately, this guy likes to get in the way, but we can take the damage. Missed the Cack Attack Super Missile. Looks like we'll be farming maybe a little bit extra. And coming up through here in Speed Hallway is a set of what might be the easiest missiles to miss in the game. Good luck finding those if you're not looking for them. And now we're grabbing the Speed Booster, which lives up to its name.
Speedrun booster.
We're gonna need more supers than that. Supers, please. One more. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, that's not the way you want to deboost at all.
Whoa. Yeah, that deboost.
Yeah, that's
I hate when
actually,
that happens.
yeah, it's pretty common actually for that to happen as far as mistakes go in there.
And now here's where 100% starts to look a lot different. We're heading down into our good buddy Crocmire's lair.
Yeah, you saw what this room looks like earlier, but you didn't see this area over to the left with the gate, which you can get through because of his wave beam. So, Crocmire's not like most bosses. He doesn't actually have health, but he will move backwards in an amount that corresponds to like how like what you're throwing at him, basically. And he's gonna step all the way back into this pool of acid.
Yeah, there's one combination of beams that you can just one-shot him, and it's kind of funny. Just hit
Yeah,
him once and then like stands there and just moves all the way back.
you'll see that in the ice clip route for 100%. But since you pick up plasma in that, but we are not so lucky.
Yeah, so Crocmire there was pretty nice. He only threw fireballs once. He could obviously do it as much as he wants to during every one of those stopping periods after reeling back.
He's back from the dead. Oops. Short charges are hard. And that door there was open because we wrapped the shot around while we were going through the acid.
Yeah, you'll see at least one more again later after Rick's ship, but the way that works is like in certain rooms, the way the rooms are positioned. So like in the Out of Bounds, certain rooms have like copies of themselves that are right next to the original room, and you can actually interact with parts of these copies. In this case, you can have a charged wave beam shot strike a copy of the door that's on the left side, and therefore opening it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how like the Out of Bounds this game works, and that you can even do such a thing. And nobody really understands like why exactly that's possible for you to do, like charge the beam shot and wrap it around to the other side. Like why on a technical level does that even work? Nobody really knows, but thankfully it does, because it saves quite a bit of time in the ship area after Rick's ship. You'll see that hopefully once we get there.
Yep. And that little maneuver there with the grapple beam to get those missiles is one that is commonly missed. I'm glad that it went well. And doing the Shine Spark there is a bit faster than just wall jumping up. We're low on supers and health though, so we're gonna just farm these guys a couple of times and we should be good to go. I fell in the acid. Missed the door. The grapple beam is one of the hardest items to use well in this category because of Super Metroid's item switching mechanics. Having to press 4 times to scroll over is actually a pretty big burden as far as, you know, what you can handle with the controller. And because we've got some extra health here, we can afford to do the Alpha Spark, which is pretty neat. And say bye to Spazer forever.
Yeah, Kaz is turning it off because he'll be doing a power bomb combo known as X Factor on Fan 2, and as well as some other bosses later as well. And it's basically, the damage it does is worth the time spent pausing to disable Spacer for it, because you need to have just wave and charge enabled in the menu for it to be possible to use. And turning it back on at later points simply isn't worth the 3 seconds spent pausing and navigating the menu for it.
Looks like I just barely laid that power bomb short, so we'll have to throw down another here. Hopping all slow through that room, but we made it out, so it's fine. And we won't be coming back through this room, so there's no need to power bomb that door open. Is there still one over there? Yeah, there is. There we go. Looks like we'll be getting Moat Missile on our way back. So my health here is a little bit skimpy, so we'll have to play it a little bit safe on Phantoon, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, unlike low percent, Phantoon does only 20 per hit as opposed to 40, so he's a lot less scary in these categories.
You do want to try your best to conserve health through the wreck ship, though, because there are a few difficult rooms coming up that can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. Wasting supers like it's nothing. We messed up their first X Factor. Looks like he'll be doing a mid pattern, so we should be able to recover. Alright, we're out of there.
Congrats on living.
We livin'.
Wow, a ton of power bombs.
Oh, that's right. I lie. I'm supposed to use power bombs there, but shouldn't be a problem. Didn't get the good deboost, so we gotta delay this power bomb a touch. We're shooting a missile here because if we shoot a wave beam projectile, it might break the floor, which we don't want.
Yeah, if you're crouched, it pretty much will, I think.
Ah. Alright, pretty good gauntlet there. those spikes in the room deal a lot of damage, so you gotta be slow and careful.
Yeah, the normal spike's still 30, but the big platforms deal 100 of area. So getting skewered by those, like, he has a reserve tank, but the thing is, depending on like how much health he has, and the way invulnerability can persist during reserve tank refill, usually getting skewered by them is like a death sentence in that room, basically, in this category.
Yeah, and because of the little amount of water in that room and the way there are spikes all over the place, it's just a really awkward room to navigate. It's possible to take a lot of damage in a short time if you're not careful.
Yeah, if you're not accustomed to like how your physics could be changing from constantly being in and out of water throughout that room, then yeah, it's tricky to navigate.
My return trip wasn't as nice, but we're still okay. We might end up needing to refill at the ship, but that's not awful. And now we're coming up to the attic, which is a pretty challenging little section of this run. Let's see if we can do it right. We cannot. Alright, we're going to resort to just laying a power bomb and sparking it up. And unfortunately, with doing the Shine Spark late like that, the side effect is often enemies move around, so gotta go back, kill the thing. And now we get to deal with the lovely helper robots.
Yeah, this is some people even would consider this the worst room in the category, just because of how difficult these guys can be to deal with it.
Ideally, we damage boost through that second one as well, but unfortunately he turned around, so it was not going to go well. We didn't get our speed boost there, so going slow. And we're definitely going to need that ship refill, unfortunately, but c'est la vie. Grabbing the ceiling missile first try. That was a nice super shot. It's possible to lay a power bomb there that clears the blocks below us early, but it's kind of precise, and you got to take extra damage from the spikes, and we're just going to make it easy. And we've got ourselves a gravity suit. And now we can move freely through water, which very quickly comes into play for getting this next missile pack. And here are the missiles we missed last time around. Easy enough to pick up now. And we're going to go ahead and do a quick recharge at the ship. We need a lot of energy in order to do the next few rooms. There's some pretty big shine sparks coming up, so the refill will end up saving us time in the long run.
Yeah, you want, ideally you want at least 220 energy, 220 energy for this spark to the Gauntlet energy tank that Caznode's going to do soon. And he had like 70 plus reserve, so... As you can see, we already have 100 missiles at this point. Which at this point in the run, they've more or less like lost their usefulness. The missiles, you won't really see them all too much. It depends on what exactly Caznode does for room strats, but...
Don't seem to be getting it, so we're gonna have to switch back to Spazer. Sorry, I lied when I said Spazer was dead. We didn't want to open that door, though. That might be a problem. That wasn't the right pixel. There we go. We've got our wraparound shot, which means we can now do this. Whee!
Yeah, with Spazer on, it requires, I think, a slightly less strict of a position to actually hit the door. When you don't have Spazer, the beam is, I think, not as wide, so that changes where you need to stand and how big of a window there is and where you're standing. So yeah, that spark is why Caznode felt the need to refill. It's because it takes at least 200. But now that he's got the Gauntlet energy tank, the chance of Samus actually dying in this run is extremely low. Knock on wood.
I can find a way. We're being nice and careful to go slow through this room. If we accidentally fall down one side or the other of the crumble blocks, it takes a very long time to go back around. And here's the cheeky energy tank. If you don't jump right there, well, you'll see what happens shortly. There we go. Don't want to fall through that pit. Oops. Say hi to the animals. That's the last we'll be seeing of them. Even though it's possible for that bug to get in your way. Oops. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where are we going? What are we doing? There we go. If you're a pro, you can manage to jump back up through those crumble blocks. It's a trick known as Mission Impossible. And we want to carefully position ourselves. Oops. Didn't lay the bomb high enough.
Alright, so Casnode's made it out of Meridia, or out of Brinstar with all the items from the green and pink areas. So now we're here in Meridia. And Meridia starts off with a pretty tight short charge for a missile pack.
That went pretty well. Yeah, Meridia is one of the most difficult parts of the run. It's all about navigating some tight spaces as best you can. Alright, picking up both sets of the Mama Turtle packs, no problem. Please, there we go. Now we're picking up what's affectionately known as the crab supers, mostly because there are crabs all over this little part. Meridia has some of the highest density of items in the game, so basically it's the place to go if you want to hear a lot of fanfare in a short amount of time. And here's where we actually say goodbye to Spazer forever.
Spazer Rollin. Got a tough Batoon pattern there. Some nice little show.
Keep it twice.
Yep. Nice little showcase there of his hitbox denying capabilities.
Yeah, he gave the worst pattern twice in a row, funny enough. And if you aren't ready for it, then it can be very difficult to one-round it. Since what you're trying to do during that fight is have all the X-Factor particles land on his head. So that way it only takes 6 supers to kill him afterward. So that right there in the Coliseum was the halfie, and that's what I was mentioning during my run is low percent speed can also do the halfie, even without high jump, but it's actually even harder as far as a frame window than like getting the full halfie, which would get you all the way across the room. It leaves, when you do the full halfie, it leaves you with like 10 frames to activate the Shine Spark in order to get across. If your climb up the wall was clean.
About how much time would it save in low percent speed?
The halfie?
Yeah.
I want to say it's like similar to how much time the full halfie saves over the halfie. Like it's probably around 6 seconds if I had to guess, but it costs 60 energy, and you kind of want a lot of energy for Dragon, like just to be safe that you don't get chained to hell after doing like 3 Shine Sparks or whatever.
Now entering Swoop City. This is a terrible fight. Oh, we got that blue suit.
Yeah, so if you're here for low percent, you already kind of know what this does, but when Dragon dies, it forces Samus into a standing pose, and if Samus happens to be Shine Sparking when this forced pose change happens, then it gives blue suit, because basically blue suit is when a Shine Spark gets interrupted. That's like the result. And as long as you never activate the run button, then you can have this indefinitely, and when you press down, it activates the Shine Spark from it.
Oops. There's some really fun speed keeps you can do there to get up through that instead of sparking, but they're actually kind of dangerous. It's possible to soft lock in this room.
So this is what we were talking about earlier. Coming up is a series of rooms where the intended quote-unquote way
am I going?
To you go down in the sand.
No, I just blanked out and thought there was another item there. There is not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
I was like, am I in the right room? Maybe? Let's find out.
since Caznode has a grapple beam, he can latch onto this destructible grapple block and it'll break away. There's a route, however, that the ice clip route would not have grapple at this point, so the alternative is to enter this room that he was dropping from with the eels and freeze an eel in a position that would allow Samus to clip through the floor and jump through to this room with our good buddy Shack Tool that's going to clear the sand for us, since we do not have any way to clear the sand without him.
Yep. And here we're taking a detour for the best item in the game.
Yeah, you only ever really see this area in 100% categories.
And now we have our springy ball. Our springy ball. What kind of monster kills Shack Tool? Why would you do that? He's your buddy.
Alright, so no Caznode has Plasma Beam, so his beam is very, very strong now. He deals like, I want to say Wave and Plasma is like around like 750 or something, I don't remember the exact number, but
Maximum the damage. Whoa!
Maximuming the damage, yeah!
yeah, so it'll actually like one-shot a lot of enemies through this area even without charging it.
Yeah, Plasma's special property is that it passes through enemies.
Spark it up!
And we fell in a sand pit. Much better. Shoutouts to snails, best enemy in the game. Mostly because of the sound they make.
So these are the last two items in Meridia, and then we're basically done with it forever.
Done forever, yeah.
Gonna visit much hotter pastures now. Well, right after a return to the lair for a missile pack.
Thank you for the reminder.
No problem. I was actually thinking you might not remember it.
If you're a boss, you can do some pretty sweet spring ball strats there.
So Caznode's going back into the lair for a missile pack that he couldn't grab originally because he didn't have power bombs at the time, and you need power bombs because it's guarded by a power bomb block. There's actually a route you can take in this category of grabbing a PB pack early from Red Brent Star to grab this early, but funny enough, it's like almost exactly the same speed room for room, or at least like once you like calculate all the room times together. So it's sort of just like a playstyle choice whether you want to grab that pack or not, and most people don't, simply because early game's a bit more stressful if you do try to grab Create Missile early, and people are just simply more familiar with grabbing it late anyway, as long as they can remember it, of course. So now Kazno's grabbing the last beam of the game. We didn't grab this before X ship because, well, the way 100% works is you basically either grab grapple or ice in order to get the spring ball. You don't really grab both, and you shouldn't grab both. Either grab one or the other, and grab the other one later on after Meridia. So he's grabbing it now in this route. And now his beam does 300 normal and 900 charged, which is quite a lot. You'll see the low percent fights I did where even after all the ammo I had, Ridley still took 150 charge shots to kill. Ridley and Mother Brain both go down in just 20 charge shots with this beam combination. So you're not going to see them for nearly as long in this category.
Let's not recharge our energy. Missed the door. Who misses the door?
Oh yeah, this is a little too high.
Yep. Too high.
Higher than clouds.
Blazing Trees. This is a Greenleaf production.
Ah, that was almost good. Want to be careful right here because these are some pretty troll crumble blocks. Coming back around to get this one missile pack would suck. Shoutouts to the 99% one run where I forgot the super missile pack.
Yeah, since that floor is crumble, the missile pack, if you miss it, you're losing at least a minute. There's a couple like that in this this game when you're doing this category. That's possibly one of the most infamous. So where Caznode is crouched right now, Golden Treezo simply can't do anything to Samus in that position, so you're free to just spam charge shots up through him. And if he's on the ground, or if he's not descending from a jump, then the charge shots will hit him twice.
That's right. Here are the Mickey Mouse missiles, so named because of the pattern of the blocks above it. Personally, though, I like to think it's a nice little heart.
Yeah, Caznode was taking that kind of safe because there's yet another crumble floor there, and don't want to fall through those and lose a free minute.
Free hot minute.
So we got Screw Attack for beating Golden Treezo, and even though the beam is pretty strong too, the Screw Attack actually does significantly more damage than pretty much anything outside of like Shine Spark Echoes. Like if something's vulnerable to Screw Attack, it basically kills it in a frame, because Screw Attack does 2,000 damage per frame of contact, and nothing in the game that's like vulnerable to Screw Attack even has enough health to survive a frame's worth of its damage. So it's an immediate one-hit kill on anything that's vulnerable to it. So now he can just like spin into most enemies to kill them if he wants to. These enemies are an exception though, but they're scripted, so, and the beam can hit them twice too. So.
That was a pretty mediocre Ridley fight. But we're grabbing his E-Tank. Come on, break the block. Thank you.
You know you can actually shoot that block out, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm
Wasn't sure.
just awful.
It's like I wasn't trying to be like that.
No, I didn't think you were. Whoa, I have never done that one before. Okay.
So you can see how much less stress. I mean, besides the mass amount of energy tanks, you can see how less stressful this area is with just screw attack and tow. Don't have to really worry at all about what the key hunters, the side hoppers, the pirates are doing. Just spin right through everything.
Spin to win, baby. There we go. That's another shootable block that I'm not shooting. And we are all done with Norfair. Time to get out of this literal hellhole.
Yeah, so since Caznode took care of Crocomire early, just can go through the Frog Speedway and be done with this area for good. Now there's really only two things before Torian, and that's one is X-Ray, the last item of Red Brinstar.
And the actual best item in the game.
Yeah. The key to breaking the game in most cases, but you're not going to see that here. And Retro Brinstar cleanup. There's a few items in the blue Brinstar, the early rooms of the game.
Oops, looks like we missed that door earlier. Not tough to just bomb it open now, though. And here's the only room with an invisible floor in the game. And here's probably the dirtiest trick the developers pull. Yep. That missile pack is a doozy.
Yeah, the only real indication that it's there is just the potential thought that, like, why would they put this pedestal and all this effort just for a missile pack, you know?
Yep.
There has to be something else, and there is. A second missile pack, even better.
Gotta have them missiles. Oops. Interesting fact that we take advantage of here, shine sparks preserve through elevators.
Yeah, elevators kind of like pauses Samus's state in the game, so it pauses the shine spark timer in this case. So even though the elevator takes like 12 seconds, and normally a shine spark charge is only 3 seconds, it pauses it to allow for shine sparking through the pit room.
Where am I going?
The room on the left.
Yes. And this should hopefully be our very last missile pack.
And last time in the game, too, hopefully.
Ooh, check that 122 gold for time.
And so, unlike low percent, you see this tremendous amount of ammo, so there's not really any concern. Like, even if he had no supers, he just has so many missiles that, like, he can sort of do whatever he wants in these Metroid rooms and be okay for Mother Brain. So there's not much to worry about. It depends on what exactly you're doing, like if you're going for Mother Brain stand-up or at Metroid skip, but there's not much to worry about at this point other than just making sure you don't like do weird things like get grabbed by the Metroid in transition, which like messes up your speed, or soft lock the game somehow, because you have the potential to do that.
That's not to say that Torian is necessarily easier in 100%, it's just much less difficult to die, or much more difficult to die.
Yeah, you could even argue it's more input intensive and like more demanding technically, but yeah, as far as dying goes, like it's a rarity in this category, is obviously.
But this is one area that definitely tests your usage of the item cancel button, which is something that you're not normally using too much. Oops.
Yeah, you wanna. It's preferred that you item cancel, because if you item swap to get off of supers, then you'll reach X-ray at some point. And if you're holding run when you swap to X-ray, then you activate it, and you can accidentally activate X-ray a lot if you're not used to using item cancel.
Yep, it will stop you dead in your tracks. Oh, that's right, you can screw attack through those jerks now.
Yeah, you can see Caznode with a comfortable 34 super count, so it's no fear at all for getting through the first phase.
Nice, got a skip.
Congrats.
Oh, that's right, I need to unequip stuff. Varia and screw attack. Yes.
So he turns off screw there because it resets his invulnerability when he spins, and he needs to spin jump in order to perform the normal Zeb skip. If he didn't, if he kept screw attack on, he would have to either shine spark through it like you saw on low speed, or do like a fancy sort of down back strat, which is a lot more complicated to do. He also turned off Varia because he's planning on doing stand up during Mother Brain, and turning off Varia makes it safer. Like basically, if you have Varia on, then after the rainbow beam that lets you stand up, you'd need to reduce your health further manually, and that leaves potential to be rainbowed again. Basically, that's like the basic explanation without getting too complicated. So it's just safer to take Varia off when you want to do stand up. So now Caznode can do stand up by having at least 700 HP in energy tanks. You can stand up after being hit by Rainbow. I don't know what like the technical explanation for like why that's possible, but it just is. Mother Brain might keep attacking if you don't put yourself below 100.
Yeah, I goofed.
But now because of that, Caznode can now stand up during this phase, and There will be a point where the Metroid detaches from Mother Brain's head, where she'll gain her energy for her third phase, and Caznode, because he's standing up and can charge the beam, can deal damage to that phase early before being given Hyper Beam. So it saves around 15 seconds, this ability to damage her third phase early before the Metroid gives you Hyper Beam. There's just like a few minor details in that, like you need to fire at point blank because the beam won't travel outside of the Metroid that's like right on top of you. The Metroid will eat the shot if you're not firing from point blank in the Mother Brain. You also need to make sure, okay, good, that you aren't firing the beam right as the Metroid explodes, because it can basically lag the game to death.
Yep, this is basically the absolute last point that it's possible to see a reset.
Yeah, like there's a few ways during that to soft lock, because you could get the Metroid stuck in a position where Mother Brain can't hit it. You could do something that causes the game to essentially freeze from lag. But Caznode managed to avoid all that, and it's gonna get the heck out of here.
Rollin.
And time. Looks like we're hitting just over that 130 mark, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but you know what? Didn't die. I'll take it.
Yeah, finish the run. Hopefully got 100% of items, which I think you did. I don't recall seeing anything be missed, even though I had to sort of take care of a few things here and there in between.
Yeah, I saw I had 230 missiles at one point, so I'm pretty sure I'm safe. But we gotta wait and see. It's tradition.
Sorry for the silence, guys. We're hopefully setting up the next run, which is supposed to be a quote-unquote glitchless run of Pokemon Red by none other than the Godfather himself.
I like the quote-unquote glitchless.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know exactly what it does. You know, you kind of have to...
Yes, that's true.
A lot of glitchless runs are, like, contentious.
Well, there's
RPG?
only one thing that is on the table, and for Japanese runners, they consider the Pokédoll usage to be a glitch that allows you to run away from a Marowak, so that's basically the only thing that's questionable, but it's like an item that you can use, so the Americans say fuck that shit.
Alright, fair enough. And then we got 102% of the things in DKC2 by Void right after.
PB, by the way, Caznode?
Not a real PB. I think I had one in a one of my tournament races that was like a 126 something.
Nice.
Your Deuter still says 130 though.
Yeah, I haven't updated it. I didn't.
Okay.
I intended to beat it, but you know how that goes. And hey, true 100%. This run is legit. Thank you for hanging out for my